All right. Hello and welcome to session 2 of Karanduun and subtitled Make God Bleed. There you go. This is we can attack and dethrone God. So this is what this game is about. This is a game that's available on itch. The 1.666 version is apparently the most final version. And it is available there. It's a very cool system with a lot of wonderful influences, and we're going to see some of that today. My name is Lowell, pronouns he, him. This game is part of the Gauntlet Hangouts. The Gauntlet is an online gaming club / community. You can find out more about that at gauntlet-rpg.com. One of the things is that all of the games that are run on the Gauntlet, we use a suite of safety tools to help out, because often we're playing with people we've never played with before, but even if we know the people, we want to make sure that we're on the same page. So we have the X card as an active tool we can use, open door policy if people need to step away, and then our sort of basis for all of this is lines and veils, is the foundation for this, and we've established some things that are lines, meaning that we won't be hitting those in the game, and veils that if these things appear, we will kind of fade to black when they appear. It's a living document, so that it might get added in later on. People might add things as we go. If at any point people feel like we're edging a little closer than they'd like to align, that's at a good time to X card to point out that maybe we're getting a little bit closer than we should be. So our lines for the game are sexual assault, torture, incest, and essentially comments of you're playing the game badly. Those kind of negging comments, which I think is a really fun and good line to have. And then our veil is for sexual content, essentially the Buffy rule that when they embrace, we fade to black. So last time we set up our characters, we established who they are, we built some relationships between them, and we went rolling right into their exploration. We'll come back to exactly what that exploration is and what the stakes are in a moment. But right now, we're going to find out who our characters are. I'm going to go across the character spreadsheet and have everyone give us the elevator pitch on who their character is and what we need to know. And on screen, what do we see? So Will, I'm going to start with you. Have you tell us about Ermin?
Certainly. Hi, my name is Will, pronouns he, him, and my character, I'm playing Ermin, the Otto, an expressor. He is a spirit medium and a dancer. He is plump and expressive. He is a broad-shouldered, portly man dressed androgynously in long, flowing, billowy clothes, some linens. He's got long hair down to his shoulders, and he has basically been running a community tea shop operating as a spirit medium on the side for many years now. They're in their mid-40s, and they have basically hit the point. They're not the kind of person who would necessarily take up arms and attack and dethrone God, but they have watched their community wither as the world decays, and they're basically drawing a line in the sand, and they are bringing the ancestors forward to sort of witness and revitalize the world to whatever degree they can.
Awesome, awesome. And then Jane, let's hear about Lilia.
Hi, I'm Jane, she, her, and I'm playing Lilia, also she, her, who is a middle-aged woman who, for most of her life, was an oblate to the old church, the church of the previous gods, who have since been dethroned, to my understanding. I think that was many years ago, but this church sort of held on to the old doctrine, and either through some piece of information or through the encroachment of reality on the cloistered space, she became disillusioned, and so she has come to the city to try and find a better way. She also is not particularly inclined to take up arms, as it is a little bit out of her depth here, but she very much wants to do the right thing.
Excellent. And then Pocket, tell us about Basanta.
Excuse me. I'm Puckett, he, him pronouns. Tonight I'll be playing Basanta Batas. She is a 14, 15-year-old girl, street urchin, street kid, very humorous and mischievous and puckish. She likes to pickpocket things, and she always makes sure to have a bottle of beer around for the street gods that she knows, who teach her things and basically call her little daughter and that sort of thing. And to her, pretty much everybody she runs into is a relative to her of some kind if they stick around long enough. She's very much about found family and creating one and trying to approximate one.
Excellent. And then last but not least, Maria, please tell us about Judas.
Yeah, hi, I'm Maria, she, they pronouns, and I'll be playing Judas. They were raised by a local trickster god called Pilandok, who is fox or specifically mouse deer themed. They like jumping on ley line-esque, but are actually electrical wires around the city. They don't want to be attached. They tend to be in a lot of groups, but Basanta's the one exception where it's like, okay, fine, you're my little baby sister, fine. And they don't really, they don't like taking things heads on. If they could somehow just do it secretively, or convince someone by talking or through some magical enchantments, they would prefer to do it that way. And yeah, they're currently in a belly of a god temple, yes.
Yes. I believe if I recall correctly, our group favor pool is at 2 dice. So that's where we're going to set that. And I don't think anybody has any personal favorite dice that they've gathered, but those 2 dice are out there for anyone's use. As a reminder, it's a D6 pool system. You get a certain number of dice you roll. You're looking for 4, 5s, and 6s to get a certain number of successes. To get more dice, essentially you can aid a person. It gives them 2 dice. You can just be awesome. Describe how you're being awesome. You can use equipment. You can call in your concept. These are all ways to get more dice. So where we left off last time, you had traveled into the body of the Temple of the Dead God, Sinuquan. It is a war god, a sort of double-aspected male-female war god that had been destroyed during the recent, or the not so recent times of the change of the world, the death of the world, effectively. Now, this place is a hollowed out temple. The body of the god is the temple itself. And it has been taken over by a gang who has been using it as a distribution center for a drug called Angel's Blossom. You know that the leader at the top is named Alejandro. He has several named lieutenants, and he has his gang spread throughout. You also know that he has acquired some objects of power, which rightfully belong to the righteous rather than in the hands of this miscreant. But he's also under a little bit of pressure because the authorities that he has clearly been working with on and off have finally decided that they've had enough and have scheduled their own attack on this place. You are here essentially right in between the time, right before the time of that. And by this point, 10th floor, if we cut down to the ground floor below, we will see those local law keepers arriving, moving quietly through the shadows and moving into the building. They're not going to find anything on those lower floors because you took significant time to clear out the populace from there. Essentially, your friend and Angeliki got her to organize and get everyone out. The other features of this place is that at the levels that you're at now have clearly been built into labyrinths, warrens of walls and things like that to slow down people coming through. Moving on a floor requires coming out and moving across and then going up again. The building is lit by bound light spirits that are kind of have a greenish glow. And you freed one of those, and one of those is kind of hovering around with you at this point. Another point I should make is that there was some action last time to kind of try to awaken what dwindling spirit there was of the goddess here in the temple, and that was moderately successful. We take up as the four of you kind of catch your breath there on the 10th floor, figuring out how you want to approach up to this next level. So you're all relatively in good shape. No one's been injured. Things have gone smoothly. It seems like the fates are with you at this point, right?
And the next problem is kitties. What could go wrong with kitties?
Yes. That does remind me, is we did see on the floor, you were able to not essentially awaken them, but a set of large cats atop piles of bones that were, at least for the moment, peacefully resting. So it looks like to get to the next level, you don't have to move directly through their spaces, but you have to move past them, past those hallways that they are in to be able to get up to this next level. So, Ermin, what are your thoughts at this point?
Well, I would prefer not to trouble the cats, because I imagine, like, I can already, like, I have to imagine that the authorities are on their way, and these cats have done nothing to me, and they probably have been mistreated, and so I don't necessarily want to, I mean, from a compassion perspective, I don't necessarily want to tussle with them, and from a tactical perspective, I don't want to be smashed into them by the authorities.
Fair enough. Lilia, what are you thinking?
Well, I've heard that all cats enjoy laser pointers.
That's true.
Say, looking at that little light demon that's hovering by your shoulder, Ermin. Perhaps we could come up with some way to distract them, to move them further from our path of egress.
What a delightful idea.
Ermin, how do you think you want to do that?
I guess I'm looking at the move list, but anybody else who wants a shot at that?
Also, it seems early in the session to do this, but I could totally shape the lie. If I did that and succeeded, then you could have an extra 2 dice if you wanted to attempt to use that idea. I don't know if we want to do that yet.
Why not?
Always try to make friends with the kitties.
Entertained.
I have a rules clarification just on that move. It says that when you shape the lie, the first player other than you to act upon the knowledge gains 2 dice, and if they succeed, you and that player gain 1. Is it only this once per session thing? Does that mean anybody can only get the Grom once per session? That part of it can only trigger, or each player could only get it once per session, and I can still give the plus 2D repeatedly, or is that what is the session limits on that?
It seems to me that giving the plus 2 dice is a thing that you should be able to do regularly. That's a modest power. The actual gaining of the Garum, I think, is probably limited to once per session for you and whoever it is, essentially, that you can do that once.
Would we like to say that, say, if I give Ermin a Grom this time, that I could still trigger that perhaps with Hudis, and maybe Hudis would just get the Grom and I would not in that case, or just it only occurs once?
Yeah, I like that idea of being able to split that across. If you're willing to sacrifice what you might normally gain to give it to other people, is what you're saying?
Well, it would just mean like I could potentially give each person in the entire, like each player, a Grom over the course of a session if I played it right.
Oh, interesting.
Because I wouldn't be sacrificing anything, because I would get it the first time. I just would not get it. This is kind of
yeah, I don't. I think the Garum.
It's just fictional labor.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do it.
Am I stretching it? I'm probably.
Nah, I like it. Let's do it. I'll just turn the dial on the bad guys up a notch, and we'll be all good.
If I'm going to be an insufferable know-it-all, to at least like absolutely. You only hang out with me because you look better after I say my bit.
So let's start with that shape the lie. Let's have you make that roll, and that is wisdom plus spirit,
which is 5.
5 dice.
And I don't think I have any other bonuses that I'm going to apply to that right now.
You're not going to use your scrolls?
Oh, what the heck? Let's use them.
Okay.
And it's 4, 5s, and 6s, correct?
That is correct.
So I'm at a 2.
You're at a 2. So that is going to be a partial success.
Okay.
So
basically what I'm saying is these, like other cats, would be interested in fast-moving lights and would definitely follow a laser pointer, basically.
Yeah. So I do think that you believe that, and that's been your impression that most cats do, and these are close enough to felines that you're pretty sure it'd work. Mm-hmm. You're also pretty sure they're not entirely cats.
Okay.
Does that seem like a fair answer?
Okay. All right. So I'm going to, I guess that is what I tell you, Ermin, that I am deadly certain that there's enough feline in them that they will totally go for, that they'll be more interested in playing with something than actually catching us. Which I guess just lets you make the decision whether or not you're going
we have a really interesting non-combat act called Ignite the Flame, where you ignite passion in a group. And it seems to me like that might be the appropriate move for this. Ermin, what do you think?
I can work with that. So
it is word plus spirit.
All right. So I'm going to give a sort of half bow to the fire spirit, and then sort of gesture out with my hand as if I'm letting them take the floor, and then I do one half of a very expressive, a very wide-ranging partner dance with them, and so I'm hoping that to get it to sort of dance and dart out into the area where the cats are, and then distract the cats.
Absolutely. So word plus spirit plus the 2 bonus dice that Julia has provided.
That is a lot of dice. I say now before I hit the roll button. 3 hits.
That is 3 hits.
4 hits.
4 hits, so even more. Well, it's good because the threat of them is 3. Does the fire spirit stay intact, or does it split? What do we see? Does it how does it change to match what you're telling it to do?
I think it stays whole, but maybe it like, instead of just being a sphere, it sort of squirts itself about and becomes sort of a little bit of a tiny fireball or a tiny mote of light sort of zipping around the room. And it's jumps out in very wide, looping, expressive circles, and basically plays Can't Catch Me with the cats. And
you will see from where you're at, because you're probably the closest to the cats at this point, is, once one of them catches sight of this, there's a kind of a at the back of its throat, and then the others reply until you get this like mass echoing of that as the cats get up, and you will see them start to move, and you'll hear and you'll see that the cats have kind of wrapped one paw up, and they have switchblades. And you see that they are running along, moving along after this thing with these switchblades. They're running along the walls with ease. They scurry up the walls and onto the ceiling, and they're running and chasing this thing. And they'll like drop down to try and catch it. But this light spirit is moving very quickly. They are occupied right now. And so the group can, if they want to, quickly move past. So you'll get to through kind of the labyrinth of doors here, and we've got the next set of stairs that go up. Who's kind of taking point? Hudis, Basanta, we haven't heard from you for a bit, so maybe we point to you.
Just like to look around a second. Does anybody else in my group look terrified and surprised? Because my character looks terrified and surprised.
Good question. Have you ever seen these switchblade wielding murder cats, Hudis?
Probably not, but I feel like he has too much pride to show it.
Okay.
It's like,
And Basanta?
This is amazing. They're kitties and they run on the walls. Can I play with them?
Oh, honey, no. No, you cannot.
But kitties.
But danger kitties. They may look cuddly, but I think anything that holds a switchblade is no fit play companion for a young lady.
I can hold a switchblade.
At a loss for words, just nothing.
I'll just look sad and move along.
Okay.
Aw. Does Ermin know any lullabies for the kitties?
I think Ermin is adjusting their worldview of the cats upward and assuming they're probably paid a salary and wouldn't want to demean their intelligence by singing them lullabies.
Ah, I see. So they're those kinds of kitties.
Yeah, I mean, they're not really on that kind of close social relationship where they could rock these cats to sleep. They think that might be a bit of a that might be a bit of a social faux pas.
I see.
Hudis, what do you want to do? Do you want to move upwards?
Wait, let me see.
Or something else?
Do the light creatures inform us of any new information?
I think that would be probably steal the secrets of God, literally whispering and trying to get information from them. What do you think?
Yeah. I want to put one in my head and just like put her near my ear and just like, It's like a magic conch shell. Kind of moment. Yeah.
So let's have you roll Rebel plus Spirit.
Okay.
As you're doing that, I kind of, Lilia is kind of shivering and was like, you're touching it. And like freaked out by that.
1412. Ah.
So that's one success. So that is a partial success. So you will get one question. And this is under the other act. So what question do you want to ask from Steal the Secrets of God?
Ermin shrugs and says, well, they both seem to be consenting.
Uh,
Lily is just totally at a loss at this point. She's like, all right, I'm just gonna like stare at a corner of the room until someone else makes a decision.
I feel like Hudas will ask what's about to happen, but in a very like solemn and piercing tone.
I think that the light spirit will whisper the sounds of boots coming, of walls getting kicked in, of smashing, of hammers falling from the lower floors, as there's a steady march of these lawgivers, lawkeepers moving their way up. They seem to know the path, and they're moving faster than you might expect.
As a player, I am interested in what happens when the two low-level thugs that we scared off on their way down the tower meet the lawgivers coming up the tower.
I'm guessing it's not pretty. But the light spirit doesn't speak of that.
Can we crawl up?
Yeah, you can make your way up. There's a set of stairs to move up to the next floor if you want to continue on.
Yeah, sure. I feel like I'll just do a straightforward. Oh, this looks like the next. This looks like a eligible place to go forth, and just waltz right in.
You will move to the stairwell here. There's junk in it. It smells weirdly like varnish, like somebody spilled a can of that in here at some point. That kind of strong, pungent smell. As you make your way up, you can see that the stairs are sticky, but you're not sure what they're sticky with. There's that kind of like movie theater floor as you put your feet down and make your way up. You'll get to this next level, and there's a door that's open, and you can see that unlike these other levels where you've been moving through and it's been twisty and lines of sight have been broken and you've had to kind of move and find your way through, ahead of you there is a straight corridor. And you can see the other stairwell up from this 11th floor up to the 12th. At the end, it is like an apartment door, like an apartment hallway. So there are doors along that, but it is just a straight, wide, clear hallway. Basanta, we haven't heard from you for a bit. So what are you doing?
I'm looking around because this is very interesting to me. I've never been in the body of a dead god before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also still a little bit sad about not being able to make friends with the kitties. But I'm curious, what does this place smell like?
Well, you probably still got that strong smell of varnish, but when you get up into the hall here, the scent that you're getting that's wafting down the hallway is of meat.
Ooh.
Raw meat or cooking meat?
More raw.
That doesn't sound good. I'd like to creep forward stealthily a little bit and see what I can see.
All right. So I think this is struggle unafraid against God. Essentially, you're trying to avoid detection, being spotted by whatever is here, whatever traps might be in this hallway, while the others are kind of back. Let me ask, though, Lilia, Ermin, Hudas, you see Basanta gather herself together to go down the corridor to scout.
Mm-hmm.
Does she?
Can I offer my playing cards so that they don't stick their shoes on the floor? So that at least it's a little less noisy if the
Might
pulling
it
of
be
the boots.
useful to throw the cards?
Yeah, throw the cards and there's like a
there's just like a
track
motion
and
sensor or something
Yeah.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
Putting little card footsteps.
Also, I'm not actually going to follow, but I am like tensed because I have my Grom still committed to my protection of Basanta. So should something fly out of the wall, my instinct is going to be to leap at her and to try and knock her over, since this looks like a trap to me.
So let's have you roll. I think Rebellion is our general dealing with things. So yeah, let's have you roll double Rebellion.
Alrighty, my Rebellion is 3, so that's 6 dice, correct?
It is.
All right, so that is 5, 5, 4, 4, 5.
Wow.
So that's 5 successes?
Yeah, 3 5s, 2 4s, and a 1.
So the playing cards, I imagine we see Hudis throw them and they land just where you're going to step, just as you're about to put your foot down, moving along. And so there's none of that sound of the sticky floor. But you will get up and you will see that the doors have clearly been secured and kind of bolted into place for these apartment doors, like reinforced. Mm-hmm. But there are places along through here on the hallway where there's splintered wood, signs of past violence, sword slashes in the walls, burn marks, all of that kind of thing. And you will get down to the end and you'll see that at where the hallway ends, it actually opens up into sort of 2 side rooms, just right next to where the doorway up for the next stairs is. And you will see this red-skinned, enormous thing. And it has a bowler hat on, and it is smoking this enormous black cigar that it's like clearly chewed on, so the tobacco juice is kind of running down its chin even as that smoke is kind of coming from it. And it hasn't noticed you, this demon, this Satan of wrath that is chained up here with enough chain to let it run down the hallway. And it is very clearly the defense system. You know that these things are wrath. They are just pure anger. So that's what you'll see.
I say, "Hello, distinguished uncle," and offer it the beer.
All right. So what is it you're trying to do here? How do we want to read this?
I want to free the demon. Just let it completely loose from its chains.
Interesting. But I suspect that actually you're trying to do this and not be killed by it, right?
Yes. I would like it for it to like me and not kill us.
So I think that is going to be sway the flock.
Okay. Now, since it's chained up, does that constitute the leverage that sway the flock calls for?
This is interesting. Let me look at the description of this beast here. Just one moment.
Sure
Well, I
thing.
consider the response here.
I gotta say, an action that makes the entire table suck in their teeth should probably add 2 favor dice to the pool.
Yeah, I think so. I think that the chain acts as the leverage there.
Okay. And then does the bottle of beer give me another die?
I'll give you a die for the beer.
Okay. And it says, let's see, this is wisdom plus spirit, correct?
It
Or
is
weird plus wisdom.
It is word plus wisdom.
Okay. So that is 3 dice. And then you said
2 dice for the gasping, 1 die for the beer.
okay.
Is it no, okay, I'm good with that. I was thinking, should I enchant the beer? Nyam, 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 never mind. It's good.
Do you want to?
It's good. I'll skip for now.
Okay.
Yes, okay.
I kind of feel like maybe you should. I'm really afraid of this thing.
Okay, fine. So who this was on the fence, but how did Lilia like he was taking out like some of his how does he keep his Gahum? Like he already had glowy hands, but he was like,
I think it's entirely done with like freak out face, where I'm like looking at Basantis and my jaw is on the floor, and then I'm looking at you and I look slightly relieved, and you start to put it away. I'm like,
and I'm like,
like just total spaz.
I'm like, okay, and I'm like, Basant, that's probably not an uncle. And then I try to ask you over for the bottle, and I stroke it like very gingerly, like whispering forgotten words, so that it would be very sweet smelling, or at least attractive or magnetic to typically evil or angry forces.
I'm kind of imagining, just in terms of like blocking, has like the entire group sort of crept up the hallway so that we're close enough to.
I'm more than happy to have all of you move up there. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, just checking. Because what could go wrong?
That's 6 dice.
It sounds like it.
Okay.
Is that a 7th though for the enchantment?
Oh, that's right. We'll give you an extra die for that.
So I
Okay.
minus my Gahum. Okay. Or okay. There you go.
There are 2 6s, a 5, and a 4.
2 6s, a 5, and a 4. So on a partial success, like they say, it's still clearly angry, still clearly like rage that kind of leans forward, that stogie, that smoke kind of roils off of it, and it.
Can I just really blurt out, there's a whole bunch of people coming up behind us? I'm just trying to redirect it a little, like seem in panic here.
It looks at you and it takes out that cigar and it says, "I'm not very good at short-term planning or long-term. So
If you can't see us, we'll be out of sight, out of mind, and there will be plenty of people to rip apart in just a few minutes, I promise."
I feel like I try to ask Basanta for another bottle, and then I pretend to drink it, and I'm like, yeah, it tastes really good, right? What? Like this is excellent.
it says,
And I'll set you free.
Premier
mhm,
alcohol.
yeah. Give me the mango.
Oh
I can
shit.
smell it on you. Give me the mango.
And then I before I pretend to get it, but I take out like a lockpick, And I'm like, wouldn't you like this instead, dear uncle? And I'm also like cleverly leaning into Basanta, you know, trying to look cute, but not as good as Basanta is looking cute.
It has made its request to you based on the way the flock there. It wants that mango, so you have a choice whether you want to follow through or take another tact with this.
I'm actually good with giving the mango, but I also want to offer the lockpick, but
why not both?
Basanta, we're not sure he's not gonna hit us yet.
Oh no! Oh no! Hold on. I
say that too loud.
If nothing, a Satan of my word. So I promise I will not hurt you right now on this floor.
Mm-hmm.
If you unlock this, give me the mango and we're all good. You said there are lots of people coming, right?
It's true, distinguished uncle. There are.
Yeah. I glance over to Ermin, to Basanta, and to Lilia, and I'm like, okay, fine. And then I take out the sweet, yellow, juicy, like it's like yellow gradient to orange on one side, and I'm like, and I hold it up like real close to his hand,
and it will reach out these dirty clawed fingers, like you're like, I don't even want to get scratched by those things. I know that wound's just going to get infected immediately.
I'm like, yeah. I'm like, just breathe in this. I'm like, yeah, okay.
And he drops it down his gullet.
Nice.
And now the chain around my neck. You're gonna.
I scramble up, and then I'm like, and then at Ermin and Lilia, and like, and work on the lock with like my switchblade that, you know, doubles as a key.
I think this is a lock that will easily yield to a trickster of your skill, and you'll pop that lock in that cough, and it'll kind of shake, and you can see it's got the burn marks that it's had this thing on for a while, and it kind of, he'll reach up and pull and kind of set that down, and he sits there and he says, it's always good to make deals with devils.
And then I smile and like comb his hair. I'm like, yeah, less collar, like, more collarbone looks good on you.
Yeah. But that when you touch the hair, it's kind of matted, and there's some bits that come off.
Yeah. I definitely am trying to remove some. I'm like, yeah, kind of thing.
And it gestures. You should go on to the next floor.
What's in that room back there, honorable uncle?
The one across from me?
Yeah, the one with the double locked doors, the brace doors.
Oh, well, I think you probably want to open that to find out.
Hudis, should we open it?
I smile at Basanta, and I'm like, wait up, dear uncle. How long have I kind of want to ask.
Sure.
How long has it been here? And who trapped them?
Probably about a year and a half.
And you've been here since it was a temple, or only since?
Oh no! Alejandro called me, bargained, bound me, fed me the souls of the people who would come and attack here, fed me the souls of the people who didn't pay up their rent on time.
Do you like Alejandro?
It does well by me.
Or does Alejandro Does Alejandro give better beer than us?
Alejandro gives better bodies. And now he's kind of looking at Ermin and Lilia, who've been very quiet during this conversation.
Mm.
Kind of leans forward towards you two and says, "Cat got your tongue?"
Just a quick question.
Yeah.
Out of character, the double doors, are they the way out of this floor?
No,
or...
there's an open entryway to the elevator, to the stairs going up to the next floor, but across from him there are these doors to another room.
Interesting. All right.
I mean, I feel like I've been sort of edging towards those doors the entire time. I'm very afraid of this thing.
Yeah, you can
in
get...
my sheltered life, I have heard of things like this, but face-to-face is a little bit more intense than I'm ready for.
I thank the uncle and like I hold the giant ass chain and I'm like, can I have some of this?
Sure.
We'll go on ahead.
Take as much as you want.
Yeah, I feel like I take like a bar that's like big enough to fit in my bag to replace the place where I had my mango.
And Ermin?
I'm going to gesture expressively at him and say I wish you fortune in the coming moments.
Absolutely.
Sounds like you're going to be quite busy soon.
Should be. We'll see.
Could you pet the kitties for me, Uncle?
Nah. Those kitties are wicked.
More of a dog person, huh?
More of a dog person.
I nod agreeably.
And he again gestures for you to take the stairs up.
Oh yeah, I feel like we totally.
Oh, what about the door?
We could roll for a lockpick? Or, yeah? I mean, unless Urban has some kind of magic where we could see through the door before we go in.
Oh, true. I mean, I feel like Ermin's a little cautious because we've gotten a favor from this creature, but the door seems like a trap. The door seems like another bargain, and the danger with Satans is that there's always another bargain.
Mm.
I'll look over my moves though.
I did the cardinal sin of writing something in the chat and not paying imperfect attention. Can someone remind me what decision we're making here? Are there two doors and we're trying to decide between them?
So right now, the straight hallway comes down. There's this sort of open room at the end with another room facing it. And then over here's just the doorway straight up to the next floor with the stairwell. So right across from him is this weird door.
Okay, so we're debating whether or not to open the mystery door.
Open the mystery door or go upstairs.
Okay.
There is a possibility that all of the weapons we're here for are behind the mystery door.
Totally.
I say out of character.
I'm also thinking that the higher we go up in the tower, maybe the magic might be thicker in terms of like temple god, the head, like which part of the body of God are we on? So I'm like, I'm kind of I've been to Ermin's shop. I'm like, yo, I've got you like really important rituals. This looks like a ritual. Like I've hopped on ley lines and stuff. I'm like, this is humming. This is humming. I want you to check it. I'm like, mystery door, check it. kind of vibe.
Well, I suppose, honored one, that we would not presume to intrude on your private dwelling.
Well, I don't live there. No. I live right here.
No bed, no bed strewn with clothes, no toilet.
I am a sedan. I have no need of those things.
And you
I will
and
go
no
to the
need of-
bathroom when I am killed, and my fecus will dust my enemies.
A most delightful turn of phrase, I am sure. But you have no interest of. Do you even know what's behind those doors?
Oh, I know exactly what's behind those doors.
Really, Alejandro told you every bit of what's behind those doors.
No.
He trusted you with that information.
No. I've seen them. I know what's behind those doors.
Surprise me.
Do you want to try and fool him into giving this away?
I feel like I'm kind of angling towards a sway the flock.
I like that. I like that.
Insulting his intelligence or his status.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's not as many dice. 3 dice.
Okay.
Against their threat. Their threat is probably high.
And there are 2 dice in the favor pool.
Okay. If I commit to using dice in the favor pool, this becomes overtly supernatural.
Yes.
Yeah, I will go ahead and use one of the 2 dice and say that this has become sort of a call and response ritual exchange with the demon.
Okay.
That we're sort of slipping into ritual here with challenging the forces of the supernatural, and so there's a sort of a weight to the call and response.
Sure.
Is there any way that any of us can assist?
How would you assist, do you think?
I think Basanta would assist just by being cute.
If you're interested in assisting, don't look at the die roller.
So there'd be 2 extra dice you'd get.
Okay.
I mean, I'm a monastery record keeper. Maybe I know some like choral refrain or something that I could add to this, since it's very much a call. Like there's like a ritual. Like I immediately pick up on the meter that you're using, and start kind of chanting in the in between spaces. I'm like laughing occasionally, or there's something in my movement and my little exhalations that is adding to that.
Is that you calling on your concept?
I think I am.
Okay, so add another
it's something
die.
that I know only through the ritual speak of the monastery.
Okay, so that's 2 dice for assisting and 1 die for that ritual speak added on to what you've already rolled, Ermin.
Okay, so I'm rolling another 3 dice. Thank you, folks. And across those 7 dice, I scored 5 hits.
5 hits.
Yeah.
He says.
Who just drops into the mystery door.
How many of those were from the helping? Just out of
I'm
curiosity.
kidding.
Pardon?
How many of those were from the helping dice? Just out of curiosity.
1 from the extra dice.
Okay.
Ooh. He says, I know exactly. They are the weird sisters. They are the 3 Mananagal assassins that are sitting in there and waiting for Alejandro to set them upon people. Or anyone who opens the door.
Maria is doing a project on Manananggal, so of course I want to visit the fucking Manananggal. I feel like Hudas is canon excited. Like, oh really? The sisters, the ones that that terrorize the Upper East corner of.
Oh, absolutely. Their tongues go out like needles, prick into your skin.
Older brother, you told me stories about them.
Yeah. I feel like Hudas has this morbid, You know how you have like K-pop idols who you fantasize over? I feel like Hudis is like, they're like this, because they're like the most agile and the most feral laughter. I feel like the Mananangals just are very creative with their prey and their opening lines or their ghost stories.
Lilia, what is your reaction to this sudden excitement by Hudis for these three demon killers that are sitting in this room waiting to murder anyone who opens the door?
Yeah, they're like local vamps. Yeah,
I think what she wants to express is she wants to acknowledge that Hudis is potentially in the presence of their idols. But sometimes it's better to keep that a mystery, and to actually meet that idol is disappointing.
And also don't meet your idols.
It's better to keep them on the pedestal and imagine that than to actually. And so I've got my hand on the doorknob, and I'm like, if they move towards that door, I am opening the next door.
Oh, yeah. It's a doorway. You just have to walk through to walk upstairs.
Yeah, I'm like, we should go. And I'm like trying to physically, like, by moving ahead, try to like pull people with me.
That sounds delightfully violent, but do they want for anything in there? Do you think they might feel left out or bored when the mass of soldiers comes through the door behind us?
We'll have to find out, won't we?
I hope you don't leave them to stew in silence.
No, I'm pretty sure that Alejandro will call for them to come and kill you. Probably when you get to the next floor. Maybe when you get up to the 13th floor. I don't know.
I acknowledge the point.
Could we lock the door? Could we like bar the door so they can't do that?
Hudis is like, it's like, Lilia, you were very helpful, but don't do this to them. And I feel like they've been terrorized because they've been misinterpreted. Like if it's okay with Lowell, because I don't know how much I'm like going into GM territory, but
if you want to declare a truth, then I'm going to make you shape the lie.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna shape the lie. I'm gonna say that, because these Mananangals, they were also, they were like non-insingrintos watchers, non-figures like you, and because of their rage, they cut their bodies in half so that they could float and, murder men who's eaten their infants. So, of course,
Wisdom plus spirit.
These women are legendary. I like them.
You're making me like them too, definitely as a player. I don't know if you've got Lilia, but you've got me as a player.
I'm going to, while you're describing this and gushing out about the lore of the Manananggal, I am sort of tracing out a sort of inviting the spirits to come here and learn and rejoice in this history. So this is just a straight flat word roll to see if I can aid you.
Okay.
Which my word is 2, so I'll just toss 2 dice in there.
Sure.
No hits. So
no hits.
So I'm just being more of a distraction than anything else.
There's no fail.
Yeah.
It's okay because it's like 3 sisters, 3 dice. Okay. Wait. What?
You want another die? Because I'm pretty sure my concept could help.
Oh, sure. Okay. Yeah.
Because I grew up on the streets, you've been telling me stories about them. I'm really excited about this.
Wait, I'm laughing at the idea of Hudis being like, no, they're local heroes.
and death is my constant companion, which is kind of unusual for a child as young as I am.
Yeah. Okay.
Take that extra die.
Okay, so I'll do a 4. Okay. Roll the dice. Let's go ahead and go. 6, 5, and a 2. 1, 6, 5, 2.
1, 6, 5, 2. I will say that that some are created that way.
Holy shit. Yeah.
Some are, not all. Some are born that way, and some ask to become this thing for the power. They harbor resentment against women who have children, and they build that up, and they move that way. So you're not sure. Yes, it could be that in fact these are some of the misunderstood, but it might not be.
Is there a who does move where I just like storm in?
Huh.
I just want to make him a fanboy.
That's entirely up to you.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like Lilia, if you're gonna stop me, I'm gonna use this chain on you. And I'm like, and then I pull out my lockpick and be like,
I, as a player, am totally on board with that.
Yeah, and the demon says, it's not locked.
Oh, and then when I turn my key, I'm like, oh yeah, oh, amazing. and then like
pull the door open.
Far up the next, like out of the spaces I can be in without being in the next space.
Absolutely.
Like I'm just like, this is bad. I want to be able to run. Oh, but I think maybe at some point, can I have kind of grabbed Basanta and started pulling Basanta with me?
To at least get Basanta to a slightly more advantageous position.
Kind of like get her,
I'm kind of probably like, but older brother's there. I want to see them.
You will see them just fine from up here. If you want me to, you can sit on my shoulders.
Okay, I'm good with that.
So, Hudis. Let's see here. One of the things is that you will open this and you can see that it's a lit room, that there are 4 or 5 figures, because 2 of them are already split. You know, they've got their legs seated on chairs and their torsos are there. And you see one that looks young, very young, maybe you know, your age. One that looks older, like middle-aged, and one that looks like a crone. And you can see they've got these long knives that they've been sharpening, and clearly been listening to the very loud conversation outside their door.
Oh my god!
I think Ermin actually,
I love that detail.
Ermin actually trips and stumbles a step when Hudis opens the door.
Don't embarrass me, Ermin! This is important!
And the young one says...
In my head.
Young one says, oh, I'm so glad you understand us. You understand that we are misunderstood.
Like,
we are just victims of circumstance. Come here.
I feel like I drop to the ground and I go like bow and I'm like, oh, I am undeserving of your grace. Oh, powerful ones. I dream about you every time it's the full moon. I aspire to your grace and your wit as you consume your victims. And I feel like I have my other mask on, like because I have a demon hell mask.
So see, Lilia, it's fine. Let's go see them.
Let's just wait a little bit longer and see how this goes.
I'm
Santa, I'm complimenting them. Wait.
I'm casually edging up to Hudis, not entering the space, but if I have to dart forward to put my body between them and her, them and him, I will do so.
Yeah.
Okay. Hudis, you're trying to catch their fancy with their compliments, such that you're not necessarily the first one they're going to kill. That seems like a reasonable way to do this.
Yeah. I'm definitely like complimenting
Absolutely.
them.
Why don't you roll? That would be wisdom plus word.
Wisdom plus word. Okay. Can I play into like my my thief persona of the Pilandok? Like, I'm leaning more on the language of like how my demigod father, adoptive father, taught me to speak. Yeah, to speak to these ladies. So I talk like that. I talk like them.
Give yourself an extra die.
Yeah. Okay.
There is one
Please
die
like
remaining in the favor pool.
I would think that. So I'm wondering if this might be another thing that drops dice into the favor pool, because it is certainly audacious. It's cool.
I'll tell you what. I'll put another point in the favor pool, bringing it up to 2. So, Hoodis, what did you roll?
Oh wait. So four.
If you want to roll another, so you had 4. Did you want to spend a point from the favor pool to give yourself that 5th die?
Okay, I'm gonna do that. Wow, okay, this is like some weird dice math that I don't usually do, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do that. Okay.
So it's one more die.
Wait, did I go? Yeah, I go.
Yeah.
I went. Okay.
So that's 2 successes. So they laugh, delightful, twinkling laughter that starts up in a high pitched and kind of ends up in a low growl. And that's when the tongues come out. Let's take a break. We'll be back at 30 minutes after the hour, and we'll continue on. All right?
Okay. I will have like.
Before we go, I am so pleased by everything.
Okay.
I want to thank all the stars right now before we go.
Perfect.
Cool.
So we'll just do this in aid action. You'll give 2 dice to Ermin for defending. And how do we know that your prayers actually kind of resonate with the God that you're in? You think it's a sound? You think it's a visual?
It's a sound. And I kind of stated last game that it had horns, and so I'm thinking of this like hollow wood, like woody, like didgeridoo almost. Like
okay. Yeah, that kind of low tone that's feel like it in the bones.
A vibration, in the and definitely kind of coming from above, I think. So I think the unfortunate side effect of this may be that whoever's in the upper levels may be kind of aware of us.
Maybe aware of this. Basanta, are you okay with me having Ermin resolve his action and then check with you?
Sure.
Okay. Ermin, so this is hold the sky gates.
Sure. I will dart forward. I will dart forward with sudden speed that I have not shown previously, and try to foul up the tongues of the Manangal with my long sleeves, and assuming I make it through okay, say, ladies, you'll break his heart.
I feel like there's a part of me that's heartbroken, but a part of me is also, oh my God, yes, please kill me. I feel like this. I feel like Kudas is just feeling a lot of emotions right now. That's why he's not as agile as he usually is.
Sure. So it's violence plus spirit.
Okay.
Plus a couple extra dice from the aid action of Lilia's prayers kind of reverberating through here.
All right. So violence plus spirit is 4 dice for me, and moving with the wings of your blessing gives me 6 dice. 4 is a hit, right?
4, 5, and 6, yeah.
4, 5, and 6, that is 4 hits.
4 hits. So you will gain, you will get a full success. So you gain 2 gate. So you can And this is considered just one attack rather than splitting into three people's attacks.
Okay. You said 2 gate?
2 gate.
All right. I will redirect I will reduce the wounds inflicted on the person I am defending by 2.
Okay.
And I will, you know what? No, the way I'm describing it, I will redirect the damage to myself.
Okay.
And I will give Hootis +3 dice on their next roll.
So you're not going to reduce the damage to yourself?
No, I think I described myself stepping in between, so I feel like fictionally I'm taking this hit.
You will be pierced by these 3 tongues that, come to kind of a needle point, and they hit onto you, and we can immediately see, like, they kind of go red as they draw out your essence, and you are going to take 4 ginhua.
Good
4
Lord.
damage out of 5.
Yeah, so that cocky response may be a bit strained and with choking splatters of blood.
I will put another favor in the favor pool for that gutsy action there. So we are at 3 favor in the favor pool right now. I imagine that you probably catch your breath at the sight of that, Lilia.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that.
Same. I feel like
choking, horrible, like in sympathy.
Yeah, Basanta.
I am very upset. How dare my honored aunties act like this? And I'm going to jump down from Lilia's shoulders, and I'm going to try to pierce the veil.
And I think it's only my visceral shock that prevents me from preventing you from doing that. Otherwise, I would be holding on to you very tightly and running, but I'm like stunned basically for a second here.
I mean, I'm not running all the way up there. I'm just like getting down off of your shoulders and like going down the steps a bit, because I'm just like, seriously?
Can I help by trying to catch Ermin and trying to nab at one of the tongues at the same moment?
I think that, unfortunately, given the way the defense works, Ermin has stepped in to do
in front of me.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess I took a wound 4 instead of you, which I'm okay with that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know. Oh my God. So
let me stop and resolve Basanta, and then I'll come to you, Hootis.
Sure, no problem. No problem. Yeah.
Basanta, when you said pierce the veil, what did you mean by that?
Well, I want to try to find out. There's got to be something motivating this besides just them being killers or being under Alejandra's sway. There's got to be some way that we can turn this around. Because, I mean, I've heard all these stories about it from Hootis. I believe in these honored aunties who've been victimized, who've been misunderstood. I want to pierce them as a precursor to sway the flock.
Absolutely. If you want to do that.
I love how you say, if you want to do that.
Yeah, I'm just saying that I've got some. You've spent some favor. I've got some ruin that I'm sitting on that I'm definitely going to use here.
Right. So I roll what? Wisdom and rebellion.
I recognize that grin from D&D. That is
yes.
The grin of a TPK coming.
Wisdom plus spirit.
Wisdom plus spirit.
Yes.
For pierce the veil?
Pierce the veil. Oh, I'm looking here. I'm trying to find the most. I'm sorry. I was looking at Shape the Light. So yeah, wisdom plus rebellion.
Okay. So that is 4 dice to begin with. Anybody want to try to help?
I think others may be occupied.
Am I allowed to or not?
How would you help with that?
Nyam, nyam, nyam. I think it's more of like a Basanta thing rather than a the Manananggal thing in terms of like, yeah, but I don't think it's just would plain encouragement help?
Well, can I make a suggestion about how you might be able to help?
Yeah, sure.
Like, you're so shocked, you just start yelling things at them, like, what about the time this? Or what about the time that? And
very
them jog the memory, maybe?
So very, very distracting meltdown.
Yeah, basically, but hopefully it jogs the memory a little bit. Is that too much of a stretch?
I think that's fine. So we'll give you 2 extra dice.
Yeah. Okay. Because otherwise we are all going to die.
That is 3 successes.
3 successes. So that's a partial success. So I think they are killers. They are young Manananggal, despite their appearance, despite their sort of trinity. This is what they do. This is their early years. So they are not experts. They are inexperienced, but they are murderers. What do you think they learn about you?
I think that they learned that I've lost almost everyone important to me.
I like that. Judas. This got dark real fast. You see Ermin kind of stagger back. Yeah, you probably are hearing chuckles from the wrath demon behind you. What do you do, Judas?
I feel like I enchant the chains I got from the previous demon and whip it out and toss it underneath to their legs. Oh wait, but they can dismember themselves. I enchant it so that it has salt and it burns them from the inside. And I feel like I use Ermin as like this shield. Like I'm sorry, buddy, and then throws it below him because I'm like random meltdown, talking out loud, helping Basanta, and I'm like, oh fuck you, and then doing this.
So we'll have the
he's going through all the stages of grief in a minute.
So this will do an extra wound with the enchant effect on it, so the combat thing is going to be make God bleed.
Yeah,
that is
definitely.
Violence plus rebellion,
and plus 3 dice from my setup.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So 4 plus. So that's a 7.
There are 3 favor in the pool. And I'll give you an extra die because I think enchanting this to make this chain salt caked is pretty sweet. So I'll give you an extra die for that.
I'll use that extra die. Yeah. So that's an 8, right?
Yeah, okay. I think so.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't get. Okay. I mean, I just got the one that just added in the favor pool. Okay, come on, let's go. Who does? 4, 3, 5, 1. I still don't know which one's a hit.
4, 5s, or 6s.
4, 5s, or 6. So 1,
You've
2,
got
3, 4.
4 hits. So this is a heavy weapon. So that's going to do 2 wounds. You do an extra wound for the salt, which is going to be 3. It'll spend its armor to take it down to 2. But we've still got a couple more successes left in here. So you've got a full success on Make God Bleed. So let's look at the
Yeah! All right, I did the title card.
Yes. So we've dealt your weapons damages, wounds. You're not open to retaliation, and you can pick one of those 3 effects. You've definitely taken out one of these already before you make that pick.
Okay, where do I pick from? From the...
make God bleed is under combat acts.
Yes, I'm looking at it, and then I pick between biting witch dog, I have the tirador, and to puncture God, right?
Yes.
Okay. I attack gains one of the following tags, and then I choose bleeding.
Okay, so you hit the closest one, and that salt burns, and it falls back to the corner, and certainly out of it, taken out for this. And when you whip back, there's that rippling as the chain comes back to you and cuts across this Manananggal, and immediately bleeds with that sort of, and with a scream, because it's salt in the wound as well. And it's kind of falling back because suddenly you have a devastating weapon. So there's one that's completely intact, and one that's been injured and is bleeding right at this moment. They are, but 2 of them are still up, though you managed to avoid them like hitting you at all with the tongue, as that's kind of whipping around. Ermin, what do you want to do?
Am I still pierced by their 3 tongues? Are they like latched onto me?
At this point, I'm up for you to say that exists in the fiction if that's what you want. Otherwise, I would think they would be pulling those back to try and fend off Hudis. What do you feel better about?
I am going to try and wrap and tangle the tongues in my garments and just sort of hold them. Try and restrain these ladies by their outstretched tongues.
Let us have you wrestle God.
All right. This is violence plus violence versus their threat, which is going to be terrible. So I'm going to spend a point for the favor pool.
Okay.
So that brings it from 2 dice to 3.
Do you have any items or anything that appropriate to assist you with this?
Not really.
Fair enough.
It's not the most clever thing to do, but it seems in the moment appropriate.
In the moment, definitely appropriate.
You don't want to use the tawas?
How would the tawas, like, would I coat my fingers with it, or?
Because I'm thinking that the tawas is like, because it's like a limestone, so it's like especially conducive to magic.
Okay.
And then maybe maybe you could coat your hands or your staff with
All
it.
right.
Yeah.
So if I sort of brush my fingers through my supply of tawas, I could basically try and grip, channel my will into holding these things in place.
Oh, yeah. It's almost like Olympics or something.
Yeah. So that's an extra die.
All right, 4 dice. And 1 tawas used. 2 hits.
2 hits. So you get 1 grapple on Wrestle God.
Okay. I fictionally.
It sounded like you were trying to restrain them, right?
Yeah, fictionally they're restrained and cannot move until they try to escape.
And I think the grapple that it gets is the same. I think that you step forward, you pull these out of you, you've got that limestone and you've kind of wrapped up the tongues. There are 2 of them left, and it's you and them kind of pulling back and forth there, kind of just holding your position for the moment that could give out quite easily. Lilia, what are you doing?
Well, I'll tell you that I am reading the combat actions over here to see what I'm completely successful at. And, it seems in character I'm tempted to run because that seems in character, but I'm not going to. I think she's yelling tactical advice from the sidelines. Ooh. She's like, that one over there, it's gonna faint right, you know, and I'm gonna try and cut with thought and give someone else some help here.
That's perfect. Violence plus
So
wisdom.
I'm watching, and I guess maybe I'm seeing one of them begin to separate, and I'm like, if you like, heads up.
Oh.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
Yeah, it really wasn't. That was a happy accident. All right. So that's violence plus wisdom, which I think brings me up to 3.
Do you want to spend a point from the favor pool?
That's a good question.
Is there any advantage that she can use from my Pierce the Veil earlier? Like realizing they're young and inexperienced?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, why don't I take that?
Yeah, let's drop 2 extra dice on you for that.
Ooh, all right, yeah. 5 is a very comfortable number of dice, I feel like. Or at least reasonably comfortable. 2 successes.
2 successes. So that will be a partial success. So you only get 1 tactic.
All right. I think for me, it has, given I want it to be the next attack by you or an ally against the target gets plus 2d.
Okay. So Basanta. Yeah.
Let me wait before I.
Sure.
I guess what I need. Who's the next person to attack would be.
Well, you can wait and spend that at that moment.
Okay.
Yeah. So you've got 1 tactic. It's like hold. You can hold on to that and say, now I'm going to spend this to do this.
Okay.
Yeah. So you've established that. You're calling this out. We're going to hear what Basanta and Hudis are doing. Basanta, what are you doing?
Well, since Lilia is carefully reading the situation and not paying any attention to me, I think I'm going to strap on my spiked knuckles and leap into combat.
Okay.
Of course you are.
And
yelling,
yeah.
You hurt Ermin. He's my friend and all he wanted to do was talk.
So we see you lunge forward and you will roll violence plus rebellion.
All right, and so wait, I guess my question for you, Puckett, is would you rather have plus 2d or would you rather have a tag on your attack?
That's a good question. What do the tags do, Lowell?
So the tags that you can put on this are smashing, shattering, and restraining. And those do respectively shattering will inflict damage against the target's armor. Smashing can reduce the wounds inflicted by 1 and push the enemy back 30 feet. And then restraining essentially inflicts 1 less wound and restrains. They can't move until they remove the cause of restraint.
And I think the way this is worded, I should have clarified which of the remaining enemies that I was watching, because I think I only get to watch one of them.
I think it's fair, given that they're a group right now. They're 2. Okay. Essentially, I'm treating them kind of as a gang.
Okay, just checking.
Plus, they're both locked up with Ermin, so it's hard to disentangle them at this point.
Okay.
So Basanta, do you want the extra dice or do you want the tag?
Let's go with the extra dice.
Yeah,
because that'll generate more wounds, right?
I think we're having trouble with
potentially, yes.
Okay, so that is rebellion plus violence.
Yes.
And that is 5 to start with. And then because I'm using my spikes, does that go up to 6?
I know. I think the spikes give you the damage on that, but let me check and make sure how equipment is written in here. We haven't had to really worry about that yet, so. Tags, general equipment. Yeah, they just do the damage.
Okay, so that is 7 dice. And then do we have any in the favor pool.
I believe you have 3, if I'm recalling correctly, because 1 was spent, so 3.
But that also generates ruin if we use them, correct?
It does generate ruin, but at this point, you're losing money not doing it. Do you want to do that?
I put it out to the table. What do y'all think?
Drive your character like a stolen car.
Yeah, second that.
Okay, so are we talking 1 favor, 2, all 3?
I think 2 is the most that you can use.
Okay. Well, I will add 2 favor on, because why not roll with 9d6?
Tell me.
I want to see you go supernova here. I want to.
What does that look like? Because as Lily is saying, the one spend creates your halo and your effect and so on. This is the blow up full visual spectacular from you. So what do we see?
It is, and bear with me because I watched all 3 Matrix movies in the last day and a half.
I'm so sorry.
It is a full-on slow motion spectacular of leaping, and like everything else is frozen except Basanta slowly moving through the air, her right fist drawn back, slowly arcing downward to punch the floor in the middle of the room and create a shock wave.
I like the idea that maybe with the visual of this, that you're moving so fast that they're actually after images hanging in the air behind you, like a trail of you behind. Yeah. Is kind of the visual as well.
I want to add, because
yeah.
I put some bonus dice on that, and then there's also like that trails there. There's also knotwork kind of trailing behind it back in that kind of wraps me into that movement.
Perfect. Let's have you roll 9 dice.
One, 2, 3, 4 successes.
That is a full success. So you're going to inflict wounds and suffer no retaliation, and you get to pick one from that list there.
Under Make God Bleed?
Yep. I will tell you, if you pick the extra wound, you will dispatch one of these completely.
Well, let's take that extra wound.
What does that look like? How do we see you drop one of these?
Like I said, I'm punching the floor, and you see this rippling shockwave roll outward, throwing both of the remaining assassins into the air. And one of them hits her head against a roof beam and is knocked out. Okay.
Hits and comes crashing down to the floor. The walls are still shaking. They probably bow out a little bit from the force of this. There's one that's still bleeding from the salt wound that Hudis delivered that's getting up and is trying to wrestle with Ermin still. Hudis, what do you want to do? You're muted.
We only have one left, right?
That is true.
And they're still stuck into Ermin's.
Yeah, they're Urban and it. She, you're not sure even established the gender. They are kind of locked up.
Yeah.
I'll say that since I spent a favor pool on grabbing the thing, there's this sort of cell shaded extra like there's sort of like extra. If this were illustrated in a comic book, there would be extra weight on the connected Ermin and the Manananggal and
line
the
art
tongue between us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the like line art is,
and they sort of pop against the background.
I love it. It's weird. It's like weird on the page, and yes. I want to sever from that point, like have like a really gritty close-up shot of like, okay, let's be delicate about this, and then it's like
absolutely. So This is make God bleed if you're going to try and dispatch it.
Mm-hmm. I'll use the thief tools again.
Okay.
Yeah. But
they're using the chain,
Mm-hmm.
so you get an extra die for the chain.
Yeah.
Are you dispatching this Manananggal with a lockpick? Or did you say the chain?
With my Swiss knife, that has a lockpick.
Okay. So you're not using the chain then?
I mean, I kind of want to use the knife, or does the chain?
Sure. No, you can you can certainly use the knife. You just don't get that extra bonus die for enchanting it.
Oh shit! Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely using the chain. Okay. Yeah.
So that is going to be violence plus rebellion, extra die for the chain. I think positionally, because it's being held, I think I'm going to give you 2 extra dice for that.
Ooh, okay. I just want to get 1 from the favor pool just so that it's sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what is your corona, your
oh crap
effect look like when you do that?
Oh. So I finished my 5 stages of grief. And so when you finish grief, you reach enlightenment. and you're like I feel like I say something to Lilia in effect of like, okay, you're right, you're not supposed to meet God because I am God, and then that's my cool power up before the stabby thing.
Blasphemer!
Tell me to not pedestal them. Okay, wait, that's 8, right? Okay, let's go. Ooh. Oh. 1, 2, 3. No, 4.
4? 4
Yeah.
is a full success.
Oh God, I was like, is there a 4? Because I was like, there's 3 5s, and okay, there's 1 4.
So, tell me what that looks like when you take out this last one that is locked up with Ermin.
I feel like I feel like there's like extra spikes growing from the tongue, and it's kind of like, you know how when you're like doing the dishes and it's kind of like disgusting when you're like and you stuff your hand in there, but it's like I stuff my hand in there, and because I'm in betraying blaspheming God mode, and I just yank it out in full anger.
Yeah, wrenching, tying. There's a scream as that gives, and you, Ermin, you kind of stagger back away, and they're laid out, and you'll hear,
"Oh shit! Can I keep the tongue though? Because I cut it off, right?"
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm imagining it just keeps wiggling. It never stops wiggling.
Oh yeah. Even in the bag.
Oh God! But there's that ominous clapping. Okay.
Is it our friend the Sekan?
Yes, it is. Okay. It is in fact doing this to disturb you, that make you think that the authorities had gotten here. You kind of jump when it just is like, oh, that was very good. That was great. I loved it when you gave in to your wrath right there. That was tasty.
I was like,
I tell you what, I said before that I wouldn't hurt you when you were on this floor, but I was actually going to follow you and kill you on the next floors. So I'll tell you what, that was so good. That was so dumb and delicious that, you go upstairs. I'll wait for the other guys.
Would you like the bodies, Uncle?
I'm all good. Thanks.
Okay.
Lily's feeling pretty good about not actually running away now, because he would have just come after me and killed me the second I walked out of this floor.
I feel like Hudas is like doing his version of like a bad Zumetu review at at the Satan, and like, they there's too many stories about them. They're not even that strong. It's not even that pointy. Like, and then I feel like I'm checking on Ermin in terms of like,
you're gonna want to wash those wounds.
Yeah, like I'm like, I'm like checking the combat, the rest and recuperate. Is the 30 minutes of unbothered safety like playtime?
That
30
seems
minutes?
unlikely.
No, but 30 minutes. I don't think we have 30 minutes.
Probably not.
Shit. Oh
because
shit.
the authorities are coming.
Oh shit.
So I think I'm just going to like start taking parts of my garb and repurposing them as bandages.
I'm going to tear a couple strips off the bottom of the hem of my my robe, which reveals that I have 4 spider legs underneath instead of regular legs.
Oh, wow.
Because I was in love with the illustration on the Apuna. So,
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of that. So I have like creepy spider legs, but I'm also helping you put pressure on those nasty puncture wounds.
What is it? Is that a very matter-of-factly when you show those to the group, or is it that that's something your character wanted to not show?
I think it's matter of fact.
Okay, good.
Which is kind of at odds with how surprised I've been by some of the inhuman things that I've seen.
But it's your body. It's perfectly natural to you.
To me, yeah.
So
I'll be surprised by everybody else's body. I'm maybe a little horrified by everybody's 2 legs.
I think in the distance, you will hear, like, clearly a couple floors below, the sounds of shouting and noise, and clearly the authorities are closer as this goes on. As you move into this stairwell, kind of bandage yourselves, catch yourselves, and you can move forward on up to this next level. There's a big door. This is the first door that you've seen. All the doors have been wooden, simple, basic. This is the first door where the frame is clearly kind of metal, wrought iron, and the door itself is reinforced with steel bands. It's a more solid door than the others you've seen before. So it kind of brings you up short as you reach that floor there. What do you do?
Do we have any sense of our altitude relative to like the whole building?
You're on the 12th floor out of 13.
Okay. This appears to be the final door.
Is there any chance this is the treasure room and not a room with another monster behind it?
I'm going to rock back on my heels, and if I feel like it's possible that I might be a little closer to the spirit realm from blood loss here, but I'm going to try and listen to what the expectant spirits around us are saying.
Yeah, I was also looking at that move.
So go on.
So I will start tracing out a pattern on the floor with my feet, and try to shape the lie with word and spirit.
Okay. Then, so this is from essentially from your own knowledge and memory. What do you know about this? Is what you're establishing here.
And putting my, I'm trying to dance to deepen my connection to the harmony of the universe, and maybe I can get some information from the watching ancestors.
So if you want to do it where it's about more observation with the spirits, like trying to read the scene, not drawing out of your own knowledge, then that would be Steal the Secrets of God.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm angling for Soul Mind Dua, which is a Tunkalin move. It's
yeah. So what are you drawing from your knowledge then? Essentially, what is it that you know about this?
Did you worship the Sinukuan before, or was there like a deep worshiper who visited the shop a lot, or a best friend?
I see. There may have I'm on board with that, Maria. I think the corpse of Sinuquan has been such a fixture in this neighborhood that there are bits of rumor and gossip and people who have spent time in this place just sort of I'm sort of casting my mind back to what people might have told me over a cup of tea.
Sounds good.
I have an assist that I'd like to throw out there, if Armin will let me, because it might be something that Armin wouldn't let Lilia do, which is that I see you struggling to do these movements, and you're weakened and you hurt, and it's my impulse to go in and hold you up as you do it, to physically support you while you do that. But that's something that Armin might not be interested. And Lily is obviously uncomfortable doing that, but also feels she needs to. But you can, if you wanted to rebut that, I think that would, whichever way you think the narrative ought to go.
No, I actually like that image a lot. And so their eyes just sort of flick over to Lilia, and then you can feel Ermin relax and lean into your hands a little more. And they let themselves be guided.
Yeah, and I think that Lily is having a similar moment of awkwardness, and then feeling it and feeling a rightness to it.
Give you the 2 extra dice for that.
Okay. So, my Tunkalin move is word plus spirit, so that's 5 dice plus another 2 is 7.
Mm-hmm.
Five successes.
5 successes. So that will get you a full success. So go ahead and tell me something interesting that you know about this location.
We are 12 floors out of 13 up?
Yep.
Okay, so around where are we? Around the throat of the god, or around the mouth, or the skull?
You're actually at the eye socket level.
Okay.
The last level, the level with the horns and the top is more of an attic than anything.
Okay. So I will say that this is the place, if this is reasonable, that this is a place from which Alejandro could look out over the city. And this is also when the god was inhabited, embodied, this is where the seat of their attention lived. So there is this place is charged with attention and insight. What we do in this next room will gain favor and attention from the spirits that still live in this place.
Interesting. Okay. I'm down with that. You can pass that on to the group, but the question still remains, what do you do with this door?
Before we go through the door, I have another very quick thing I would like to do. Please. I'm going to commit another of my Garam based on this interaction that Ermin and I just had. I now am bringing him as a person I am guarding.
Perfect.
Can I only have one person active with that at a time, or do I need to?
As long as you have the Gaham to commit, you can do as many as you can.
Okay, so I'm going to have just those 2.
Okay.
Buddhist, would you bless my knuckles, please?
Sure. I can do that with the move, right? With the Secret of Encanto.
You just have to, you've got right now, I think you've got 1 Gaham.
Yeah. So do I shift the one on my chains and put it on the knuckle? Okay, yeah, I do that. Yeah. I lean over and okay, these are too heavy, and shift it over to your nice knuckles over there. For Basanta. Yeah.
We see all of you kind of standing there. We see the enchanting, thinking about this, kind of all preparing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's going to let us be nice to him, is he?
You'll hear a as the door unlocks.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, probably not. And I skid to the side of the door that has more shadow. Try to get a peek.
The door doesn't
I'll
open.
just open it.
Okay. Basanta, you will throw open this door and you'll see a room. It would have been a big temple room, higher floor, rather higher ceiling than the other rooms that you've seen. There are pillars here. It has been done in crushed purple velvet and gold everywhere, and there are drapes. No color here matches any other color. It is just mixed up decorations, just gaudiness for gaudy's sake here. And as you kind of look out, you can see that there's an enormous desk, like 12 feet long, hewn from one single piece of oak. It's at the far end of this room. You can see that there are crystals that are hanging from the ceiling, that there are lights that go, so you've kind of got this disco ball effect in here. And you can hear the sound of this sort of hurdy-gurdy, weird tinny music going on. Back behind the desk, you see like curtains over where the eyes are for the statue. And there are two figures kind of standing there waiting. You'll see a short person in black armor, kind of crackling with a shadow energy around them that you pretty sure is just anger. And they've got they're human size, like 5 foot tall, but they've got the head of a bull, but it's kind of small. It's like it's proportioned to a 5 foot person. So it's weirdly adorable. But he's got a bow with him that is flickering with black. The other guy is clearly Alejandro. He is dressed to match the room. None of his clothing works with anything here. It is all garish and gaudy, and he's got a pair of machetes, and you hear him say, "Light him up," as the bull guy draws back his bow.
You're not even going to let me say hi, Honored Uncle?
So, what do you want to do, Basanta?
Well, he said light him up. That doesn't sound very friendly. So I guess I'd better attack.
So kind of, are you rushing over to close the distance?
I want to do another leaping floor punch. Because I want to give him a chance to not hurt us. I don't want to just punch him in the face. That seems like it'd be rude.
So I think to get over to them, to be able to do that, you're going to have to struggle to resist the bow. Alternately, you can use the flutter combat act to kind of close the distance and get some bonuses. We haven't seen that in operation. Do you want to try that?
Yeah, let's do flutter.
Okay. So that's rebellion plus wisdom.
Alrighty. So rebellion plus wisdom gives me +4 dice.
I believe we are at 2 favor in the favor pool at this point.
I'll go ahead and go with 4.
Okay.
That's 4 successes.
4 successes. So that is
nice.
a full success. So what are the 2 effects you want?
Let's see. I'm definitely going to avoid retaliation or consequence.
That's perfect.
How
And do you want to
close will it-
close the distance?
Yeah, I think I need to close the distance as much as I'd like to have those +2 dice.
What does it look like as you dodge this just rapid fire of black arrows from his bow?
Oh, I don't dodge it. I leap into the air and run on the arrows.
Okay. Running over, closing the distance. Who wants to go next? Anyone have a strong feeling about this? Of the three of you?
I had kind of a silly idea.
That's the best.
I kind of saw everyone collectively cringe when you described the environment, and so I kind of want to burn the room, but I want to establish that. My idea was that that this god, I can tell just by the architecture of the place, that he abhors, that he was very into like brutalist, like austere, like this was a militaristic, like this pomp, this silliness would have been intolerable.
Yeah.
And so I feel like what's left of that spirit in this place would probably smile on us if we, destroyed this like lavish thing that's going on. So I kind of want to speak that into existence.
How about we do this as cut with thought, and we give you 2 bonus dice from the sort of harmonies with the god that you guys have established, that the group has established earlier. Okay. Does that sound like a good way to do that?
Sure. I got to figure out how many dice that is.
Violence plus wisdom.
Okay. So I think that's a total of 5. Oh, nope, 6.
6.
2 successes.
2 successes. So that will be a partial success.
Okay. And so that means I get one of those things that I can kind of use to help somebody when it looks appropriate.
Perfect. Yeah, exactly. Okay. And so what do we see on screen happen?
I don't know if it's, I think all that you're seeing is that I'm like looking around, and maybe like my hand is in my pocket and I'm rubbing that bit of horn that I found before.
Absolutely.
To kind of like bring, like, because we're trying to just show that I'm thinking and realizing something.
I imagine maybe maybe like little sparks in the air just around you, that we kind of have a sense maybe something's coming.
Yeah.
Hudis? Ermin?
Yeah, I feel like I flutter also alongside alongside Basanta. The arrows don't make such a nice arc towards the place I wanted, so the places where it's not convenient I throw cards at.
Perfect. Dancing on the cards as they flutter through the air. Okay.
Yeah. So that's rebellion plus wisdom. That's a 5 for me, plus 1 for the cards.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Ooh. 2. Damn it.
2. So that is a partial success.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to choose as your effect there?
Let's see. Wait. Probably avoid retaliation.
Okay. So you don't close the full distance. Yeah. But you do avoid those shots as they come whizzing in. And Alejandra will actually move towards you, because you look to him like an easy target.
Yeah.
Ermin, what do you want to do?
Is this specifically to avoid the arrows or combat action?
The combat action. In fact, I think because the other two have kind of taken the shots, I don't think you need to worry about the arrows at this point.
Okay.
You will hear behind you, clearly in the corridor down below, like the sound of boots, and then a hungry, meaty roar.
That's fitting. So I trace a pattern with my foot on the floor, and I keep my hands. I spread my hands out with my sleeve, with my arms bare up to the elbows because of my having to strip off some of my garments in a gesture of invitation to the spirits of this place. And then with one swift movement, I convert it into a gesture of abjuration against Alejandro.
Ooh, interesting.
Your works are nothing. Your time in this place is over. And I'm going to try the dance that burns the waterfall again, which is going to be another straight word roll.
I'm going to give you an extra die.
Okay.
Because we've already established this connection to the god, and you've worked on that.
Okay. 2 hits. So I have 2 points of soul that I can spend to buff people as needed.
Perfect. So let's swing back. Basanta, you've gotten up to a Cintador, the bull-headed bodyguard. Alejandro is moving to close with Judas. Your 2 compatriots are standing by to assist. What are you doing, Basanta?
I say a quick prayer to the god whose temple we're inhabiting. Almost like I'm trying to bless my knuckles with the invocation.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm going to make God bleed.
Okay. Draw back.
How many dice do you get with that?
I believe that's 5 to start with.
Okay.
It's a rebellion plus violence, correct?
Yes, +1 for the knuckles.
Okay, so there's 6.
It had the Gahoom, right, from me. So is that another one?
It can actually, he can choose to have it be like penetrate armor, give an extra wound, have an extra
it's
use.
an enchant tag. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see, there's 6. How many dice do we have in the favor pool?
We have 3 favor in the pool.
Losing money not to do it, right?
Exactly.
And I'm kind of thinking what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to pull down the drapes as you do this. Like I kind of clocked all the different, it's all on this one linchpin here that I'm going to take down. And so I'm hoping to add probably restraining makes the most sense.
That makes sense. Absolutely.
To your attack.
Okay. And then does invoking the god get me a die or no?
Does it? I don't think for the make God bleed.
Gotcha. All right, so there's 6. Let's see what we got. Oh wait, I was gonna do 8 because. Does anybody mind if I use the dice in the favor pool?
Have at.
Okay. I will add 2 from that, so that's
okay.
8. Oh my dear God in heaven. That's 8 successes.
8 successes.
Whoa!
That's 4 6s, 2 5s, and 2 4s.
Holy shit! Nice.
So let's start with the fact that you're going to get a Gaham from this. That's one benefit. Okay.
Okay.
You're also going to get the make God bleed, the full success on that. It's going to have restraining on it. Now, did you want to use the enchantment to make it so he can't use armor? Or would you want to do an extra wound? What did you want to do with that enchant from the knuckles?
Is it going to matter?
He has armor on.
Then let's make it so that he cannot use the armor.
Okay.
I will spend a point of soul to give you +1 wound.
Okay. So
Hold up, is that even necessary?
Yeah, and also would that make more sense to say for Hudus since this one is also theoretically going to be restrained even if you don't completely take it out.
Okay, yeah, I guess I don't know what the math looks like right now.
Yeah, I don't really know what the math looks like either, I'm guessing. But I think it might make more sense for you to save that for the other enemy.
So your knuckles deal 1 wound base, and then you want to use, you get, what effect do you want to have onto that?
The effect is
it Biting Witch Dog, Eye of the Tirador, or to Puncture God?
Oh, goodness gracious.
Oh, and the enchantment means they lose their armor piercing? Or they lose their armor?
They can't use their armor against it.
Okay. How many wounds do we need to deal to knock this bull out?
3.
Okay. In that case, I mean, this attack is going to take him out, right?
You do a base 1, and if you add another wound, you'll do 2 wounds to him.
Well, if I know that math, then can I switch over to first principle of Amos, which is I deal 1 skewering wound, which means a curtain rod comes down through him?
That is entirely possible.
Okay.
So tell me what the combination of that looks like. The knuckles, dislodge his armor, kind of, probably like it lifts off of him for a moment from the enchantment. But what do we see in terms of the knuckle punch and the curtain rod?
What do you think? Do you think it knocks him backward into the wall and like kind of rattles the wall hard enough that the curtain rod just kind of slides down and stabs it through him? Or
I mean, I think everything's kind of coming down at once, and I was hoping that you would hit him and then he'd be like stagger back, and then it would like that thing where it like tips and then falls straight down and it has a jagged edge, and then maybe you get a third final hit in to.
Okay, let's do that.
Hits him, armor kind of pulls back, he's shaking, he coughs up some blood from that blow, falls back, and before the armor can kind of reform on him, that curtain rod that you've yanked goes right down through him, because it's poor quality stuff. It's all jagged, and it comes down into him, and probably, it's hollow, so we see him stagger back, and the blood fountains out of the top of this thing, and he spins around and drops, and that bow that was like glistening shadow black, just it goes out like a light.
Shame about your drapes. And there's disdain in my voice.
Hudus, Alejandra has moved up onto you.
Oh, right. That was just the giant beast. There was still the other bastard. Right.
Yep.
I was distracted. Is he like physically near me so I could?
Oh yeah, he's moved up because he's going to try and put these 2 machetes into you.
Oh, okay. I will try to stand on machetes and like hook my legs on his neck and do a flip on him.
Grab up. Okay, let's have you make God bleed.
Yeah. So this is violence, rebellion. And I do want to use my Swiss knife again.
Okay, an extra die.
Yeah. It wouldn't matter. 5, 6, 6.
There is 1 point left in the pool.
I haven't been rolling as well, but okay. Wait, is it okay? Is it okay for the? Yeah. Okay. Roll well. Copy what Bucket did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it's a 5.
How many successes? 5?
Yeah.
So, do you want to do extra damage?
How?
With the results of Make God Bleed, that, since you've got you're gonna feel the wound from the knife.
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah.
Ermin.
This might be a good point for me to spend that extra soul.
Yeah,
so I will give you an additional. I will give you +1 wound to whatever you end up deciding to do.
Yeah, I do the +1 wound too. The biting witch dog.
What does this catastrophic sudden like he's come up with machetes? He's like, yeah, you're a young punk. He's gonna lay into you, and then how does that turn? What happens?
I feel like I hook my legs on top of him, and I also use the blood that's like bleeding from like his actual neck or from the giant and put it like in his eyes, and then like twist the knife in his neck.
You turn him so he catches the full blood spray from his partner.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
And then there's that sudden crack. We see like probably the hand of the god that Ermin has kind of called up, probably grab and hold him in place such that the neck twists.
Oh yeah.
And then he's a sack of potatoes, and he's to the ground.
Oh damn.
Bleeding all over those ugly drapes.
Oh yeah, everything is red and just awful here. And
I roll off and try to sniff also at like his corpse. I'm like, that was weird. Like, but yeah.
Down below on the floor below, you're hearing clearly the sound of fighting and kicking and law keepers coming this way.
Let's get what we came for and then figure out how to leave.
You guys, all of you can move. You can see that there is a big case that's sealed and locked that you can grab onto. The only egress exit from here are the eyes, which are big open. What do you do?
Can Hudas like crawl over to the chest and lockpick it so that we don't need to carry this so giant?
Sure, absolutely. We'll establish what those items are in just a sec. But yeah, you can get that open. Basanta, Ermin, Lilia, you hear the sound of forces coming. The curtains are billowing at the eyes. How do you want to do this?
Is there an elevator shaft anywhere around here?
No, the elevator doesn't come all the way up here.
Oof. Do we want to barricade with fire, or
how do people feel about climbing out the eyes up onto the helmet and horns of the god and then just sort of chilling out there until the lawgivers leave?
As long as they don't come out there after us.
Yeah, I mean, that would be bad. If that's what happened, it would be bad. But it does give us a nice panorama view of the sunset if it works.
Well, that sounds like fun.
It does. Is it possible to arrange these two dead bodies to make it look either like an accident or like they killed each other?
Oh, I really like accident, yes, or kill each other. I bet we could shape the lie and leave like some magic stuff for an illusion.
I think you
like,
can.
There's a lot of blood for you, yeah. Ermin.
Like the bloodhead, like the bullheaded dude who was complaining about the drapes, and the other guy, stabbed him.
Yeah.
I think because we're kind of at end of scene, I think we will see you rush, move these things into position, the bodies, the drapes. It looks like an argument gone terribly awry. You get that set, even as you can hear the last bellows of the wrath demon drop under the feet of the law keepers down below, and then you can get over to the eyes and carefully climb up and out. But the god has told you where all the handholds are, and you can get up onto the top of this thing, even as You can hear the sounds of crashing down below, but it's more the sound of the wind and the birds up here, and it's actually kind of quiet and peaceful up on top of this. There's kind of a little flat space that's sort of hidden away that you can sit down on as the sun is going down, where it's that time of day when the sun hits all of the smog and smoke and stuff and kind of illuminates it red and yellow, and you kind of sit there and you wait, and it's kind of cool and pleasant, and you hear shouting in the distance that goes on for a while, crashing, and then eventually that tapers out. And then it just gets quiet. It's just you and the horrible scrabulous pigeons that live up here.
I wonder quietly whether the dead god Sinew Kwan is proud of their returning daughter.
I wonder what happened to Honored Uncle.
I think that's where we're going to stop. You will be able to, with the Gaham that you've definitely gathered here, you'll be able to advance next time. And we'll talk about what that looks like. And each of you will be able to describe an object that you found. Doesn't have to be a weapon. It can be an item of power, just something. I'll have you come up with that, and that's what you will have found in the case. Does that sound cool?
Nice. I like that.
Well, I am going to stop recording, and I'm going to check with everybody here.